everybody, and welcome to the 42nd MSP Airport Update. Today we have a morning update. We mixed up the time frame a bit this time, so we do have a morning update, and we have a lot of regional jets here, and plenty more action to get into. So we'll start over here in the cargo section again. Here we have this Prime Air 737-800, which arrived in from Fort Worth Alliance Airport, and it'll be heading out to Lakeland. Here we have this UPS 767-300. This is filling in for a 757-200, as I do not have that model, but maybe at some point I will go ahead and pick up the UPS 757-200. Definitely going to need to get a little boost in the cargo fleet here, as we only have the one FedEx aircraft, the MD-11 and the ATR, and then for UPS we have the 767 and the MD-11. And they always fly a mix of aircraft here in an MSP, so maybe we're going to need to get a 757 at some point. But here we have the 767-300, which arrived in from Louisville, and it will be heading back out there. And now being towed over to Terminal 1 right here, we have this Delta A220-100. This one is going to be, well, it's being towed over. I was at the maintenance area, at the hangars, and now it will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. And now moving into Terminal 2 with our Sun Country lineup. In the back there we have the Sun Country 737-800 in the Transavia hybrid livery. This one arrived in from LAX, and it will be heading out to Cancun. And next to that one we have this 737-800 without the winglets in the old livery. This one arrived in from Phoenix Sky Harbor, and get this will also be heading out to Cancun. So this is what Sun Country does at when travel to Cancun is very much in demand, and there are like specific seasons where this is like very much in demand. Like for spring break time last year, there were 3 daily Cancun flights on Sun Country, and I guess now there are 2 daily now in this fall season because the weather is getting colder over here. So that Cancun is now back in demand here. So yeah, that's very cool to see here. 2 daily flights, and both right next to each other here in this airport update. And then moving on over here, we have the Tide Pod livery split scimitars right here on the 737-800. This one arrived in from Chicago O'Hare and will be heading out to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Next to that one here, we have the 737-700 in the Ariel text font livery, and this one is in from Tampa, or TPA Spotter 11's airport, and it will be heading out to Fort Myers. And this aircraft is making its first appearance in an airport update. This is the Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Heart livery. This one arrived in from the Chicago Midway Airport, and it will be heading out to Orlando. Looking very nice right here. This is the Aero Classics version, and yeah, it's a very nice model right here. A little bit dark on the colors, but I'm just glad to have this aircraft because it is quite a rare one to find. Right here we have this Breeze E195. This one is a very cool charter right here. Not the first time that we've seen Breeze here, and it certainly won't be the last time either. But this aircraft is, I believe, doing a sports charter, probably ferrying one of the Michigan sports teams, probably. I forget which college is in Lansing. Either Michigan or Michigan State. I'd assume they're playing the Gophers. So they arrived in here on this Breeze E195, and then it will be heading out to Green Bay. But there is a second flight that's coming in later, and I assume that one will be coming to pick up the team for their return flight back. So this is a very interesting flight here. This is not the last time we've seen them. I guess Breeze is the airline of choice for Michigan, University of Michigan, or Michigan State. I'm not entirely sure on who's where, but that is very interesting and very cool right there. So we got this Breeze E195 in here, and I'd love to see Breeze whenever we can, really. Right here we have a Delta A321, our first of 3 Delta A321s in today's update. Over here in the G Concourse, this one arrived in from Boston Logan, and it will be heading out to San Diego. Over here we have this Delta A330-900 Neo. This is my new Phoenix Models version right here. looking absolutely fantastic. This one arrived in from the Tokyo Haneda International Airport, and it will be heading back out there, turn around for this beautiful A330-900neo. That is one of our consistent flights on the A330. Then we also have Paris on the 330-900neo. Amsterdam is more on the 330-300. I think there is still another Paris flight that is on the 330-300. But Haneda and the later Paris flight are always on this aircraft. So here it is once again in this aircraft. As you know, Delta, as the 330-300s get older, they will definitely start to fly in the 330-900s more to MSP. So this will be a great model, great acquisition here to use in future airport updates. And here we have another Delta A321. This one is in from the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, or Red River Aviation's airport. And this one will be heading out to Denver. And here is the Delta 767-300 on our one Delta 767-300 flight. This one arrived in from Honolulu this morning, and this one will be making the turnaround. That is our only 767 flight, which is also why I have not picked up the new 767-400s, because there are no flights that I can use them here at MSP, since we don't get those in almost never, only on charter flights or special occasions. So yeah, this 767-300 on the turn from Honolulu, and at least we can use this 767-300 model on occasion here. On these morning updates, this one will be always here. It arrives in like around 5 a.m., 6 a.m.-ish, very early in the morning, and then it then heads out to Honolulu. It used to be around 2 p.m., and now it's more around 11 a.m. So this one has gone a little bit earlier for its departure, so that means we get less hours with this is at the airport, so less chance that it's an airport update, unfortunately. Right here we have the Delta A350-900. This one arrived in from Seoul Incheon, and it will be heading back out there, and so this one will be heading out in a few hours here. It arrives in around 6 p.m. Every day, and then it just sits around here like the Haneda flight. It arrives in the evening, then it stays overnight, and it just kind of waits around here until the next day, and then normally they tow them. I guess they probably would have done that with the Haneda flight as well. I'm just not realizing, but they tow them over to the F concourse to open up the G gates where there's where it connects to customs and stuff. So I guess it would make more sense for the 330-900neo to be over here. But we also don't have a whole lot of space over here. But anyways, this A350 will be heading out to Seoul. And right here we have this Delta A220-300. This one arrived in from Santa Ana, John Wayne, and it will be heading out to the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. The next aircraft is the Delta 737-900, which is currently taxiing in from Fargo, and it will be heading out to Las Vegas later today. Over here into the E-concourse, we have this American 737-800 right here, which arrived in from Chicago O'Hare last night, and it will soon be heading back out there, turn around for this 737-800. This has been a very useful model in these airport updates. This is a newer acquisition of mine, the plain winglet 737-800 here for NG. And then behind that one we have the 737-900 in the Evo Blue livery. This one arrived in from the Newark International Airport. And then this will be making the flight out to Denver. So doing some United hub hopping right there. And United is just kind of fun. They don't only stick to turnarounds. They like to mix it up a little bit. Have certain planes come in from like this, for example, and also like Chicago. Mostly with their 737s, they do that. But that is very fun to see here at MSP. Now I'll move on to Spirit. And now moving along into Spirit here, we have the Spirit A319, which is actually filling in for A320neo. Actually, both of these aircraft are filling in for A320neo. I will be getting the new Gemini Jets version, the new Gemini Jets Spirit A320neo, and that will be shipping out here pretty soon. Well, I haven't pre-ordered it, but I will be ordering it once that goes to DG Pilot, and then I can pick that one up there. So that is the plan, at least. And so we have the Spirit A319 right here, which is arrived in from Detroit, and it'll be heading back out there. And then next to that one here, we have the Spirit A320, and this one arrived in from Atlanta, and it will be also on the turnaround heading back out there. And here we have Delta Thank You on the A321. This one arrived in from Las Vegas, and it will be heading out to New York LaGuardia. And now moving into the always busy C concourse, here we have this Delta 737-900ER. This one arrived in from the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport or Citrus Aviation's airport, and this one will be heading out to New Orleans. And now getting the button view of these two aircraft right here, and I apologize if you can hear the heater back here. It's currently that's like right behind the camera, so hopefully it's not picking up on the mic. Anyways, we have the 717 right here. This one arrived in from the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, and then we'll be heading out to Windsor Locks Bradley. Then next to that one here, we have this Delta A319. This one arrived in from Winnipeg, and it will be heading out to Reno. Very nice right here. Second update that we featured the Winnipeg flight. That was not intentional. But yeah, back-to-back updates with Winnipeg on the A319, and always great to see that in here. Love all of our Canadian destinations here from MSP. Most of them on the A320, so hopefully NG Models releases the A320 soon, so I can pick that one. Probably two of those up, and yeah, so that will hopefully happen. NG, crossing my fingers. Well, it looks like we do have Washington Dulles on the E175 again, but it is not United this time. It is on the Delta E175 right here on the right of your screen. The Shapeways Custom. This one arrived in from Washington Dulles, and will be heading out to Memphis. Next to that one, we have the older livery E175 here, or E170, but this is filling in from E175. This one arrived in from Cedar Rapids, and it will be heading out to Fargo. And now it will be the last update before I receive, I believe this will be the last update before I receive the Delta E175, the new Gemini Jets release, which will be super exciting. I have one of them on order, and I will be ordering a second one here. So that is super exciting that we will be getting the Delta E175 in the proper model finally for the first time ever. I mean, it's sorely needed here at MSP since we get so many E175s right here. So it will be great to get that one in. So we'll have one coming in probably for the next update, and then I will be also ordering a second one at some point. And that is the plan for that. So super excited about that. Pre-ordered one right away, and there will definitely be. I'm assuming that Gemini just produced a whole lot, considering that they knew that they were going to be releasing this since, well, for a while now. I mean, Todd kind of announced it at Airliners back in June, so clearly they've been knowing that this was going to be happening for a while. So that is very good to see by Gemini Jets, and can't wait to get my hands on one and hopefully two of them. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to Citrus Aviation this. I am going to limit myself to two. I'm not going to get any more than two. But anyways, on the radio screen there, we have this Delta Connection CRJ-900 offered by Endeavor. This one arrived in from Des Moines, and it will be heading out to Wausau, Wisconsin. And then next down here, we have this CRJ-900 offered by Skywest. And this one is in from South Bend, Indiana. And this will now be making the flight out to Escanaba. And now look at this lineup of CRJ-700s right here. This is probably your thumbnail shot right here. This is absolutely fantastic to see. I mean, it's too bad that the CRJ-200s are gone. I kind of thought that was going to be the case after the last update, but now they are definitely gone. We now have CRJ-700s replacing most of their routes, and CRJ-900s replacing some of them. But here we see the CRJ-700s right here in the back. There we have the Skywest house livery CRJ-700, obviously offered by Skywest for Delta Connection. This one arrived in from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. It'll be heading back out there. Next to that one here, we have this Delta Connection CRJ-700, also offered by Skywest, and the actual aircraft was in the Skywest house livery. So that is definitely a common sight here now. Is I guess they're maybe Delta just doesn't have enough CRJ-700s to cover it all, but all the Skywest house liveries are flying in here. We do still have a regular livery Delta Connection CRJ-700, but mostly it's Skywest house livery, and you can see the aircraft to the left there, but we'll get back to that later. This one arrived in from Aberdeen, and will be heading out to Hibbing. And then finally here we have the American Eagle CRJ-700, which is offering for Delta Connection under Skywest. So this is very interesting. This I noticed this, and I had to get this in the airport update just because it's so unique. I have seen this on the other side where it was a Delta Connection CRJ-700 operating for American Eagle, but this is the first time I've seen it American Eagle operating for Delta. So this is very interesting right here. And this was the actual aircraft is 712 Sierra Kilo, and I thought for a second that might be the actual registration of the model right here, but no, that one is 706 Sierra Kilo. So it is the sister ship, but I thought for a second that might be because I recognize the registration. I don't know where I recognize the registration from, but anyways, we have this American Eagle CRJ-700 right here, operating for Delta Airlines, Delta Connection. This one arrived in from Bemidji, Minnesota, and it will be heading out to Chicago Midway. Now, if you haven't had enough of the CRJs, here's one more, CRJ-900. Actually, we do have another one to get to. This isn't even the last one, but one more here in the A concourse, a full A concourse, which I didn't anticipate when making this airport that we would have this many aircraft over here, but we actually went over capacity. I had to cut an aircraft from this airport update because they were just too many here in the A concourse. So hopefully this doesn't happen too often where there is no more room here for me to put any models in, but that is very interesting to see right here. Anyways, this CRJ-900 is operated by Endeavor, and this one arrived in from Louisville, and it'll be making the flight out to Cincinnati. And here's all our action here in the sparsely used B concourse. It is the Delta Connection CRJ-900, which is, these are more formerly CRJ-200 flights. This is a Skywest operated flight. Arrived in from Williston, and is now making the flight out to International Falls. And our final aircraft is this here, United Century 7-800, which is in from Chicago O'Hare, and it will be later heading out to Denver. And that'll do it for this airport update. Thank you all for checking this one out. Hopefully you enjoyed all the RJs. This is definitely the airport update for RJ fans. As, I mean, look at this lineup right here. All these CRJs right here. Sad to see that the CRJ-200s are gone, but we kind of knew it was going to be happening after the last update where there was only one. And it wasn't heading out anywhere, so we got probably one of the last, or if not the last, CRJ-200 flight here to MSP, which is completely by chance, but definitely good to, celebrate that aircraft one last time. And then now we'll be seeing the CRJ-700s, so get used to this now. This will be probably a pretty common lineup here in these MSP updates, and I do have another Shapeways Custom Delta Connection CRJ-700, and I have thought many times about customizing that into something else, but I have never done it because I didn't need to. We only really had one CRJ-700 flight before this, but now it might become useful. So that'll do it for this airport update. So thank you all for checking out this airport update, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.